I completed a high level raid in Assassin's Creed Valhalla for power level 250 while I was power level 26. Yes, the new leveling system is really awesome. I will tell you how it works and also how I completed the raid. And also share some other tactics that you totally want to use in Assassin's Creed Valhalla and look at some other abilities that we saw in the recent deep dive trailer. So a lot to go over. A like on the video would really help the channel out. And let's go. You can win Valhalla in my November giveaway for a 2020 game of your choice on your platform of choice. So totally click the link in the pinned comment if you want to participate. And be sure you are a subscriber of the channel before you enter, and good luck. And totally when the game is out, I will do special giveaways for Helix credits so you can get stuff from the store without spending money. So more on that around the launch. Let's for now look at the recent demo that I got to play, where you could explore Leicestershire, a power level 20 region, and if you're not familiar, your power level is based on the amount of skills that you've unlocked. So every time you spend a skill point, you gain 1 power level, and you actually already start at power level 1, and I was 26 in this demo, so had spent 25 skill points. But in the demo, there was also a raid location for power level 250. And in the previous Assassin's Creed games, when you saw a skill enemy, you would get out of their way because you were not going to do any damage and they would kill you very fast. Like maybe you remember the Origins Horde mode they added post-launch, where you would always hit the same ceiling because at one point skill enemies would appear that you just could not take out, so the Horde mode kinda sucked. Well, in Valhalla they learned from that, because skill enemies here will be super powerful but also pretty easily killable. Here you see that I would not do a lot of damage with a regular arrow, but what I can do is aim for the weak spot. So the enemy is then stunned, and then I can just finish them off with one bow stun finisher. And I immediately did this tactic again against another target, but even regular arrows can already deal quite a lot, where again, against skill enemies in Odyssey and Origins, you would barely see the health bar change. And even melee hits are pretty great, so for this raid I totally wanted to sound the horn to have my Jumps Vikings help me out, so then the enemies will spread their attention too. And also some doors in a raid have to be opened with the help of an NPC. But yeah, this also meant that I could just focus on the weak spots and then finish the enemies off rather easily. Again, I'm level 26 here against enemies from 250. Like, I was surprised by how manageable this was. You just do not want to get hit. Like here, just a regular enemy throws an axe or something else towards me and I almost instantly die. So that's why I also use the bow a lot here and the bow stun finisher, so you are not randomly getting hit by a melee attack that can really come from all angles. Ranged attacks are way easier to keep a track of. Also important to know is that the power level determines the damage you do and the damage you take, but then also for the enemy. But the game has some attacks, like the stun attacks, that just deal an insane amount of damage that you would almost always kill an enemy if you pull them off. But weak spots for some enemies are harder to hit, like here this enemy uses his shield, so then I focus on the headshots to take him out. But there will also be mini bosses in these raids that require even more of a tactic, especially this big guy with a flail in such a small area is really tough to take out. I was able to hit his weak spots though, while my crew was holding him off, and yeah, the bow stun finisher got blocked here, so I had to get close to do the finisher up close, but that still would not kill this enemy, so then I just used the light bow and finished him off with some help from my team. So yeah, in these high power level raids, there will be enemies that can survive a stun attack, but I still love that this is possible, that I was able to complete the raid while I was way below the suggested power level. Good to note is that the supplies and raw material that you get from these higher power level raids is not more than from your early game raids. Every chest seems to have the same amount of resources and raw material that is used to upgrade your settlement. But I gotta say, this raid had more chests than the one you find early on, so it will still give you more loot in the end. I also used a lot of abilities to get through this high power level raid. Rush and Bash is one of them, where you pick up the enemies and throw them against a wall, something that can instantly kill them or just deal a ton of damage, so you can finish them off yourself. The harpoon can be very nice too. I did not use it like correctly in this footage, like I simply threw them on the ground, but if you actually launch them into things in the environment or towards another enemy, they will also instantly die, which is super powerful. Although I gotta say, it's even more satisfying to throw the enemies off the ledge with the harpoon. Like, this ability is really a ton of fun to use and super helpful in high power level areas. Another skill that I used a lot, and that is a little bit overpowered and very comparable to the sleeping darts from Origins, is the Thorn of Slumber. This will give you an arrow that will put the enemies to sleep for a pretty long time, after which you can assassinate them. But the thing is that you get adrenaline back for performing the assassination. So then you can use that adrenaline bar that you just got for another Thorn of Slumber. So you basically do the trick over again and assassinate the target, and bam, get another adrenaline bar for another Thorn of Slumber, etc, etc. It's even better in combination with the advanced assassination skill that gives you this quick time event when enemies will not die from a regular assassination. So this in combination with the Thorn of Slumber can let you insta-kill enemies, which is pretty insane. So again, it's comparable to the sleeping darts from Origins. The big difference is though that the Origins sleeping darts could run out at some point, while as long as you have adrenaline, which you get from assassinating people, you can do the Thorn of Slumber. So pretty broken, actually, I would say. I also found the focus of Nornir ability, and as you might know, you find abilities in the world that you then unlock in your ability window. And when activating this ability, you will slow down the time so you have more time to do headshots and take out multiple enemies. So really great for the Hunter playstyle. And in the recent deep dive trailer, we actually found some extra abilities that we haven't seen in gameplay yet. One is pretty awesome, called Man's Best Friend, that will summon a wolf that will attack the enemy, which looks awesome, and could also be helpful against a single target. And maybe this is the alternative to taming an animal that we saw in the previous 2 games. And if so, I think that would actually be great, because taming an animal in Origins and Odyssey would just take a lot of time and then it would die really fast. It was not ideal, so just being able to summon a wolf sounds way better. They also showed the Rage of Helheim that will let you jump onto an enemy, and then you have to alternate between the right and the left button to deal damage to that enemy. Another single target ability. And by the way, I will of course have videos up telling you where to find all these abilities, what the best one is, etc, etc. Like, a ton of content is coming your way before and mostly of course after launch. I cannot wait to start like a weekly live stream as well. It's gonna be very exciting. I can't wait for you to play the game too. So totally subscribe for Assassins Valhalla if you haven't already. A like on this video would really help the channel out. I made a new Discord where you can discuss Assassins Valhalla with other viewers and me as well. You can find a link to it in the pinned comment. And don't check out my second channel as well for that full high rank raid run. You can watch that video by clicking on the screen. Would be awesome if you could subscribe there. Daily uploads are happening over there. So yeah, I can't wait for the launch. For now, I will speak to you next time. We're super close. Goodbye.